That business and people at that time wouldn't be played with. You could actually lose your life. I had one experience. This guy told me a friend of his wanted to get 4 ounces over in Las Vegas. So we flew over. We couldn't take a gun with us. We go to do the deal, and all of a sudden he's got a gun. I feel the guy grab the back of my shirt collar, and I'm thinking, he's going to just blow my brains out here. I was set up, but they didn't get what they wanted, which was the 4 ounces. They took the pipe.
No, not the nice pipe.
They took the pipe.
Not the damn pipe.
These crackheads. Yeah, they took the pipe.
Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to the Gobcast. We're out here with episode 77. We're getting pretty deep into this. You know, for a while, I wasn't counting, I wasn't remembering, but I'm back on track, dude. It's episode 77, and I know that for a fact. And today on the show, we have a very special guest, someone that I've been very excited to sit down with and chat with and learn a lot more about. We have someone that I think has been going hard for longer than most of us have even been alive. A man who still works and parties on the side at the ripe young age of 73. We have my former coworker at Cubis, Orson. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm living good. I got to say, you know, I've been really excited for this episode. I mean, we've known each other for a little bit, not a super long time, but it's been a while since I've seen you.
It's been a while. I've been looking forward to this since we set it up.
And I mean, I've heard a lot of stories about you. Both you've told me some and Attila's told me plenty. And all I know is like you've lived through some interesting shit.
Absolutely. Still standing. Still standing.
And before we go any further into this, you know, you obviously don't have a lot of social media, and a lot of people watching this show maybe haven't gotten introduced to you before.
Okay.
And for all those people out there who are watching who maybe don't know who you are, how would you like introduce yourself to a stranger?
I introduce myself as Orson Andre Green. Professionally, I've been in the field of quality, aerospace manufacturing, so worn all types of hats, all the way from inspector to manager to compliance officer, trainer, and hopefully, a good team player.
I like that answer. You are a good team player.
Wow.
I mean, we worked together on some grinders.
Yes, we have. Yes,
and
we have.
You were a good team player for sure. Now, I mean, taking it back to before your career and everything, you experienced a lot more than obviously just working. Yes. You know, I mean, you've been around for a lot of shit. And specifically, you were born in what year? You said 1952?
1952 in New Orleans, Louisiana, Charity Hospital. That's where most folks that look like me were born during those times. I have 6 siblings, 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
Yep.
I'm sorry, 4 sisters and 2 brothers. Makes 7.
It's a big family,
and,
dude.
Yeah, big family, and we all love each other and happy when we see each other. So,
Does your family like live around here, or are they kind of spread out?
It's kind of spread out now. Just to give you a little bit of early history, I think at the age of 9, December 27th, I'll never forget. It was 2 days after Christmas. My mother. She got up, I guess, to use the bathroom or whatever, and on her way back to the bed, she tripped and hit her head on the rail. It's a steel rail that ran along the side of beds back in those days. Anyway, we called the ambulance, and Baton Rouge General was no more than, I'd say 5 minutes driving.
That's the local hospital?
Yes, the local hospital.
Yep.
And this is 1963. So things hadn't really changed that much in the South at that point in time.
This was before the civil rights movement had really happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when she arrived at the Baton Rouge General, they told her that they could not admit her there. She would have to go to Charity in New Orleans, Louisiana, which was 80 miles away. Now, this is an aneurysm that could have been taken care of and she would have been fine. But the 80-mile trip, she died on the way to Charity Hospital. And for a long time, I had a real serious resentment of white people because I feel they did that to my mom.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, it's. I'd imagine it's hard to see it any other way at that time. You
well,
know?
yes, especially as a little kid, I later was able to get a full understanding that that type of anger and hatred wasn't doing anything but damaging me.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hurt me, thinking I'm hurting somebody else. So I was able to put that aside. That was, one of those things. Well, continuing on with the story, that left my dad
Mhm.
with 7 kids all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And
That's a huge burden.
Oh, yes. And I do believe 1 year later, I think because his heart was broken and he died.
Wow.
So now there's 7.
How'd he pass?
I believe he had some illness from his time serving in the Navy.
Oh, shit.
It was almost like an ulcer, but something else. I don't know what type of chemicals or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But that's what, along with the pain of losing his wife, and our mother. But down south at that period of time, as families were close together, they would, continue to raise the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it was going to be set up, a few of us were going to go to my Aunt Mary's, a couple were going to go to my Uncle Willie's. But my aunt, whom my mother had raised her and her 2 sisters after their parents died, said, no, send those kids out here to California. They can come live with me. And at that time, she had 1 son, Gerard. She had 1 child of her own, and she was 27 years old.
Damn, that's super young.
27 years old, yes. And
to bear that much responsibility?
Yes, exactly. And but she felt as though we shouldn't be separated as a family, and we're so grateful even to today that she took on such a awesome responsibility, and needless to say, did a great job at it because we all went to college. I graduated from Cal Poly Pomona, political science degree, BA, and thought I wanted to go into law and that type of thing. But ended up getting married at 25, and it's time now to really go to work rather than think about law school. So,
how long you dated her before you got married?
This is my high school sweetheart.
Okay.
We met in the 11th grade.
So it was building up for a while.
And we both, she attended Laverne University over in the city of Laverne.
Uh-huh.
And I went to Cal Poly, and we made sure we got through with our college, and then we got married the following year. So, and then it was about maybe 2 years later. No, it was about 4 years later we had our first son. Toussaint. But so it's been a roller coaster ride. Been through a lot of things, even during the time of college. I tried to find some articles on it the other day, and I didn't see anything. It said it didn't happen. But at Cal Poly, 1969, the president of the college at that time was Dr. Kramer.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother and a few of his friends, 2 other friends, Huron Robinson and Phil Warlick and Sam Sims, they figured out that somehow they got the information that the school had been turning down federal funds that would have helped minority and lower income students come to Cal Poly.
They were just outright declining that.
They were
from
declining
the
this. It was a federal
Wow.
funds that were was being offered to not only Cal Poly but Laverne. There's a series of colleges called the Claremont Colleges. That's where Claremont Men's College is, and Pitzer and Scripps. Number of colleges in that one community. But anyway, after they talked things over, his agreement was that, okay, he would start to allow these funds to come in. And that funding began in 1970. I graduated from Ganesha High School in 1970. Let me back up to Ganesha High School. When we left Louisiana, it was in a period where they were starting to integrate the different schools.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
segregation was ending at that point.
segregation. Yep, and Brown versus the Board of Education ended up stating that separate but unequal is inherently unequal.
Mhm.
Okay, and so they were doing grades by grades. They started with the 12th grade, worked their way down. And I think I was in the 7th grade at that time when my dad passed, so I would have been going to Capital Junior High, but instead we came to California and I started junior high out there in Pomona called Marshall Junior High.
Mhm.
And that was an experience because that was the first time I went to school with anyone that wasn't black. Okay?
Yeah.
So it was different, but needless to say, it didn't feel that much different. It was different in a sense. By the time be 4 years later, in the 11th grade, I ran for student body president, and I'd have known most of these fellow classmates only like 4 years, and ended up being elected vice president. But the person who was elected president, Kevin Lafferty, he ended up graduating midterm, which means I moved up to president, first African-American president student body president at Ganesha High School, which was an honor and quite a learning experience as well.
That's got to be a huge deal at the time.
Well, yeah. But the thing about it, Ganesha High School was kind of unique in that the mixture of students was about 30% Hispanic, 30% Black, and 40% Caucasian.
So it was a pretty even mixture.
Pretty even mixture, yeah. So even though it was an even mixture, I still needed the votes of some of the Caucasian students at the high school to make it even to the vice president level.
Yeah.
But that was quite exciting, and like I said, a learning experience. So after Cal Poly decided that they were going to start accepting the federal funds and allow some low-income students to come in, I graduated in June of 1970, and I think it was the end of June that same year. I'm trying to remember if it was June or July, but no, summer school started in June. I was living in the dorms on Cal Poly campus. Montecito was the dorm that I lived in. And for the first 3 quarters, they were on a quarter system rather than semester system. But for the first 3 quarters, I made the dean's list as well.
Damn.
Which was, but I have to say, at that point, I hadn't begun to party that much. So I was either in the dorm or at the library on campus. So
you were still taking stuff real seriously.
Yes,
at that
and that helped me maintain that grade average.
I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit more about like pre-segregation, like before the civil rights movement happened and you ended up integrating your school. What was your school like when you still had to go to like an all like colored school?
Well, I really didn't. I'd have a reference point of anything different. That was the way
That was just what you knew at the time.
What I knew at the time. I went to what's called Eden Park Elementary School. That was quite an experience. And by the time I was looking forward to going to high school because that's the school that had the football team, the basketball teams, and even as a kid, I'd go to those games. So I was ready to skip junior high and go straight to high school. But
yeah, you want to be a part of all that,
right? There were several things that were. I don't recall much about the bus, but I do know that my mom, she shopped at the local market. It's called Food Town, and that was one thing I do remember because the water fountains in that store. There was one stainless steel, pristine, clean. You could hear the motor running on it. That means it's got, cold water coming out of
Yep.
it. And next to it, and there was a sign above each one, white only, colored only. And the colored one was a little porcelain knob turning regular water with rust running off staining the porcelain.
Yeah.
And so that was something that has always stuck in my mind.
I mean, that's an unbelievable thing to live through, and I can't imagine it's easy to forgive something like that. Like I would harbor a lot of resentment if I were in that situation.
Yeah, but as I did learn that harboring that resentment would only harm me.
Yeah.
I had other things I need to be focused on rather than using my energy towards hatred. To this day, now, believe it or not, I raised my oldest son that, everyone was equal, da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
And my oldest son is married to someone that's white.
Yeah.
My 3 grandkids, 2 twins and my son's son, Gavin, they're mixed. But if I'd held on to that hatred, now how would I have felt about something that's my own flesh and blood now?
Yeah, you might not have those family members.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that I didn't hold on to that. But a lot of things you file away, but you keep it for a reference.
Yeah.
And you can genuinely, I believe I can tell when, someone's maybe not even tolerant
Mm-hmm.
with me being around. One of the funny things, seemed like there were so many job interviews I showed up to.
Mm-hmm.
And because my name is Orson Green, when I would show up, they look and say, "Oh, you're Orson." And to me, that's always indicated that, oh, you weren't expecting a black guy to
They're
walk in
surprised.
here. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And but nonetheless, the ones that were working with, the fact that it was about the knowledge, the skills, and the ability to help move the company upward and forward, I got those jobs. And so like I said, you just learn how to kind of feel things.
Yep.
But a number of things I remember at the age of 9 in Baton Rouge at the city park one Saturday or Sunday afternoon, walking around with a picket sign.
Mm-hmm.
Because, black folks, or as they called us, colored,
Yep.
could not swim in that same swimming pool with white kids.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny, I was listening to something the other day that they were talking about how even people, not a black and white type of experience, but people in an experience where there was even maybe, I don't know, maybe Irish or some other race. The true Caucasian would say that we can't, our waters can't mix with each other.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff's just a matter of being ignorance. Guess what? Everyone went in the swimming pool. I think everybody pees in the water.
Yeah.
So why would you not want to swim with other people other than your own race? But you look at that situation. My mom and dad, they were property tax payers, and that was a city park. And by right, we were funding that. Why can't we swim?
They paid for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we marched around that pool that one day, maybe a couple hours or whatever. And later on, it might have not been that summer, but the next summer, we were allowed to swim in the pool.
Nice.
But guess what? None of the white kids would swim in the pool.
Really?
It took a few years before that went away. But in the very beginning, no. They stayed away from the pool, but they were not. It's a difference in you deciding you don't want to swim there other than being told you can't swim there.
And
So-
I mean, that's something I was going to ask you about too, because I mean, obviously, one day the government itself had ruled that the way you were being treated wasn't going to happen any longer and segregation was going to go away, but people aren't going to immediately be receptive to that, right?
And that's the thing. It's just taken. It's kind of a generational type of thing. Racism isn't a biological attribute to people to where it's a learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You sit at the dinner table and
100%.
eat your dinner, and you hear what your mom and dad talk about, and that usually is how most people are introduced to being racist.
100%.
It's a learned behavior. It's just not like breathing or seeing. What I would really like to see is that as well, it's happening now. As generations turn over, it's getting better and better. I think there's kids in there anywhere from 5 to 15 that have a whole better understanding because they've had the chance to interact. They got a chance to understand that, that kid, he feels what I feel. That kid, he likes what I like.
Yep.
It's just the fact when the segregation part of it, and you never get a chance to know someone, that only was making things worse because now you would believe any thing somebody would tell you. Black people have tails or whatever, all kinds of weird shit that people were actually believing because you can't know someone until you talk to them or get to know them.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest problem. But all in all, I would say you could not get me to live in Louisiana again ever for no reason whatsoever.
I can't blame you after all that.
I'd often thought, though, that I would retire down there because the cost of living is a whole lot less than being.
Oh, you're in the most expensive part of the country, dude.
In Camarillo, California.
Yep.
But it's the thing that I guess too many bad memories for me to want to live there. First of all, in the beginning I was concerned with my son because he lives in Georgia, northern part of Georgia, and my youngest son lives in Noonan, which is on the outskirts of Atlanta. So, but I couldn't live in the South anymore. I'm done with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine after what you've been through, you'd ever want to go back to the South.
No.
California's awfully nice.
Yes, much better.
And when you moved to California when you were young, did you immediately notice that you were being treated differently?
Yes, I'd say yes and no. I would say in certain situations, and then once again, depending on the person's age, I possibly would hear some racial overtones. But the kids I grew up in high school, no, we were all best of best. No stigmatism of racism between us. And as a matter of fact, we were the student body that I was on. We were quick to point it out if we saw it.
Yeah,
and would ask for some type of a change or elimination of a certain type of a program or situation.
I mean, when you were young too, I'd imagine one of the even bigger things is like interactions with like people of authority were probably always pretty questionable, right? Like if you bumped into like a cop or like someone that had any position of authority, they probably were treating you pretty poorly back then.
Oh yes. And at that time too, with the Vietnam War going on, you had to have your driver's license or ID, and you had to have a draft card. If you didn't have a draft card, and being 18, you could possibly be arrested.
And what was the draft card?
The draft card meant that once you get become 18, you went down to, I believe it was a DMV, or I'm not sure what it was, but you had to go and get registered for armed services. Okay, 18, because during Vietnam there wasn't enough volunteers. They had to start drafting people. Now with me being going to Cal Poly, we were able to get things called student deferments. So the student deferment meant if you were attending a university, you didn't have to, your name doesn't go into the barrel of names to be pulled for the draft. I think Nixon finally made the change that student deferments were no longer legitimate. Everybody was in the barrel. So I went to see the draft counselor on the campus, on Cal Poly's campus, and I told him my situation, more or less explaining to him, I have nothing against the Vietnamese people. They've never done anything wrong to me.
Yeah.
My battle right now is here in the U.S. This is the 60s.
Yep.
I didn't need to spend my time going over there. And besides that, I think part of my reasoning behind it, too, was at that time, Muhammad Ali had even refused to serve. And
that inspired you?
Right, that inspired me as well. I say, okay, Ali's not going.
I'm on Team Muhammad Ali.
So the draft counselor there asked me, had I registered yet? And I told him no. He said, well, don't register. If you don't register, they don't know you're out there. So I didn't register, even though probably some 6 months later in 73, Vietnam was more or less wrapping it up, a done deal. And I probably wouldn't have made it any further than the boot camp or something. But I just couldn't see me taking up arms against the Vietnamese. And I had so many things to, reckon with here in the United States. And hopefully some of them were solved and life is better for, many black folks.
Well, Vietnam was a pretty fucked up war. And
Well, yes, it was. It was, I've heard all types of stories of why, and people say Shell Oil Company, but it was something where it was about money.
Yeah,
and that was about it. And a lot of young lives, white, black, Hispanic, were lost during that war.
Yeah,
and I know I had several friends, two of which I could think of immediately, that when they came back, they were not right. Okay. That war had fucked them up. Yeah.
What were they acting like when they came home?
Well, they were just not themselves as I recall them. They had different type of a disposition, maybe kind of stayed in more or whatever. But you're telling you're 18 years old and all of a sudden somebody's going to put an M16 in your hand and you go shoot and get shot at.
Yeah.
That's a kind of, during the highest point of Vietnam War, we were just getting bodies over there as fast as we can. So, no telling was it a real boot camp or was it just
they were doing boot camp over there,
going through the paces to get you going so you can go fight. And but it was a pretty messed up war.
Yeah, my understanding is at that time, people of your generation, they didn't support that war.
Not at all. Not at all.
There was a lot of protests about Vietnam.
A lot of protests.
You ever partake in any of those?
I maybe remember one or two things, but my protests would include the war, but it was also about civil rights and being able to live life like anyone else in America. So I would say not specifically, but, I remember Chicago 8. That was during the Democratic convention. I forget those guys' names. But they had a serious run-in with the Chicago police, and they all ended up being on trial because of some cooked-up charges to, just to try to put the kids down that were protesting the war.
Yeah, they
didn't want that war protested, and at that time, you got to remember Nixon is the president, and I don't know if you've heard enough about it, but take a look when you see the name J. Edgar Hoover. Hoover was over the FBI, and he didn't play. He did all kinds of underhanded things.
I've heard a lot of questionable things about this administration.
Yeah. So, But anyway, the Vietnam War, we were all glad to see it end. The thing that did kind of bother me a lot was that because so many people didn't like it, a lot of the true heroes and soldiers that went over there and sincerely fought weren't treated the way they should have been treated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They risked their lives for this country, and then, because it was a bogus war, they get the blame for it. And
yeah, and it's not their fault. They just fought for the country.
They went over there to do their civic duty, and that's the only thing that bothers me about that war. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to hear about all this because it's stuff that I learned about in school, but I haven't really had the chance until now to talk to someone that lived it.
Yes, I actually lived through that, yes.
And you also mentioned, Nixon and Hoover and that administration in general. Would you say that that's like the worst presidential administration you've lived through?
Well, I don't know how things flip-flop around or change, but in the late 50s, early 60s, all the way through the 50s, and I'm not sure when it actually changed over. Would be hard to figure out, but Democrats, governors in the South, were the Republican governors we have today. Okay?
Okay.
The governor of Texas, governor of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, DeSantis. They're just straight up racist. Okay, but in the 60s, now all these guys are Republicans today. In the 60s, those were Democrats. One that was most well known would be George Wallace. Okay, George Wallace was the one who stood at the steps in Alabama not to let the three students that had been accepted and was supposed to be that was going to be the first integration at the university.
Yep.
And this governor came and stood at the steps and was denying them entry. But thank goodness between John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy, they sent the National Guard to escort those kids into their classrooms. And I'm saying all that to say it's just funny how things flip-flop around because it was all Democrat governors that were the most racist in those days. And the thing that was even stranger, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure in the 1960 election that Nixon ran, and he lost to Kennedy. But I'm pretty sure my dad had some paraphernalia, Nixon campaign information around the house. I'm pretty sure. But as I stop and think about it, then yes, Republicans were more liberal and willing to give black folks equal opportunities as opposed to Democrats. It's just totally the opposite today.
It's crazy how times change like that, and the needle just moves on what defines each side of politics,
Really?
I mean, another thing that I'm really curious about, you probably remember where you were when JFK got assassinated.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes,
what was that day like?
I was in elementary school. I probably was in the fifth grade then. And I remember school let out early that day because between Baton Rouge and Dallas, and time-wise, not even an hour difference. But both in the Central Standard Time Zone. So when it happened that afternoon, immediately, we're still probably 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock at our classes. But they let school out. And I remember coming home and my mom was crying, and I was asking her, why are you crying? And she was explaining to me that they had just killed President Kennedy in Dallas. But yeah, probably is, one of the time frames that kind of sticks in my head. But I recall that.
I mean, that's the only presidential assassination in, anyone's generation that's alive currently.
Right, exactly.
That was a huge deal.
Yes, it was.
That was like probably your generation's 9/11.
Probably so.
That's every 30, 40 years or so, there's some crazy catastrophic event in America. You got JFK.
Yeah.
I was 2 years old for 9/11. So.
Okay. But then there were two more to follow because that was 63 now.
Mm-hmm.
Go 5 years after that. And that's when both Martin Luther King, I remember where I was that day.
He also got assassinated.
Right. And JFK's brother, Robert Kennedy, killed locally here. I think it was called the Ambassador Hotel. I forget the name of it now, but it was called the Ambassador Hotel. It's where he was delivering his victory speech for the nomination. And Sirhan came through the crowd and shot him. But, those were another two that were back-to-back in 68. So the country was going through a lot.
The 60s sound like an unbelievable decade to be
Oh,
a part
yes.
of.
Well, there's so much change and growth and, technology moving forward and people's beliefs and understanding moving forward is quite a different thing. It's easy for us to change technologies and move ahead when some of these things in people's mind only, in the way they view things and think of things without thinking about the other person and what they've been through or how's everything really with them. That moves a lot slower. And so still be some years yet before we get where we need to be as a nation, but there's a lot of work to do. And people just have to, I know it's good to be on top and feel that you're the shit and nobody else is. I guess that's the way Trump feels right now. But we really need to think about, everybody is somebody's mother, father, sister, brother, niece, nephew, significant other, and nobody wants any harm to them. So why would you want to harm anyone else? I think some point in time the U.S. will get there. Unfortunately, there are some cultures and places where people have already gotten there. And hopefully, we'll achieve that someday here.
You think it's coming soon or what?
I'd say I think it's at least a generation or two down the road. It's people are so hard to, like I said, see things from the other person's point of view.
Yeah,
it's a me, I world, and until that changes and people start thinking, the number of things they taught us in kindergarten, and it's called the Golden Rule. And that Golden Rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you follow that rule, it's not hard to change the world when everyone follows that rule. Yeah.
It seems like that rule is becoming forgotten.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. I see where in some southern states, they want to put the Pledge of Allegiance or the prayer on the wall for the kids to do every morning. And, there's already in the Constitution, separation of church and state. You can't do, not supposed to do that. That's breaking the Constitution. But to cover all of that, you could put that Golden Rule up.
Yeah.
And let everybody stare at that for a while and really.
If everyone followed it, it would be awfully nice around here.
Yes, do unto others as you have. Hey, nobody, unless you're kind of masochistic, nobody wants to be hurt. So why would you, inflict hurt? So, yeah.
So, I mean, after the 60s, you experienced a lot. I'd imagine the 70s were a much different time.
70s still, in the early 70s was still carryover from the 60s.
Interesting.
That was my first 2, 3, 4 years at Cal Poly, would have been in the early 70s. I remember leaving Cal Poly in 73. There had been a shooting by the National Guard down at this school that was not far from me in Baton Rouge. It was called Southern University. And Southern University was in a city called Scotlandville, but it was an all-black university. So when that shooting happened by the National Guard, all of a sudden, it's time for me to go to Louisiana. So I was able to get a ticket. I had plenty of relatives and places to stay once I got there. And the first day at the university, trying to get registered and get my classes and everything, I think it was the dean of students. I think the person was the financial aid administrator. Because I don't think I ever got to the dean of students. But anyway, his name was Finister. I'll never forget that. A friend of mine's father, as a matter of fact. And he told me that I wasn't allowed to come to Southern University because it was mostly the outsiders who had caused the problems and the riots and the need for the National Guard to come on the campus in the first place. And I think I was trying to explain to him, make him understand that I didn't leave Louisiana because I wanted to, it was because I had to. But now I consider this my home. And no matter how long, we talked about it for over an hour, and no matter what I said, it still wasn't changing. I was not going to be admitted. And so I was pretty upset about that. And I think after that I worked with my Uncle Peter, and because I had to get airline fare back to California now. Okay, because I'm thinking, well, I'll be out there.
You got to make it back home now.
No need for me. If I wasn't going to Southern, I had no other reason for being there. And so anyway, I worked with him, hardest work ever, doing cement finishing work. And a lot of the floors, upper floors that were being laid, there was this big instrument or tub that the crane would go down and pick up the cement. It would swing it over to the level you were on. And
So wait, what is it picking up?
it's picking up the cement. It had like these.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought you said semen at first.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Liquid, it's the liquid cement, just like you know what's turning around in those. Those trucks
No, I
that you
get it
see.
now. Yep.
And but the thing about it was that there was this big burly guy, and he was the only one that could pull the arm down to open it up and let the cement come out. Then the cement finishers, which I was doing, we'd spread it out and trowel it and do other things to it. But that was the hardest work I had ever done. And I think after 3 weeks, I had enough money to fly back to California. So I made it back and enrolled back into Cal Poly, still going to school there, probably this would have been 76 or 77. A friend of mine, two friends, Keith Sims, myself, friend Rick Kelly, we opened a nightclub called Chocolate City in Pomona.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun business venture.
Yeah. And it was. We were not able to get a liquor license, but we were able to get a beer and wine license. Liquor licenses.
I didn't even know those were separate licenses.
Yeah, way a lot more. I mean, liquor license would cost you like $25,000, $30,000, whereas the beer and wine license, I think we paid like $1,500 or $1,200.
Well, how much did you pay to open this nightclub? I mean, that sounds like an expensive.
Well, it had formerly been another nightclub there that went under called the African Palace.
Okay.
And so a lot of the interior was still intact. We didn't have to do much, but I think I can't even remember what the rent was at this time, but it wasn't over $500 to rent the
You can't get a tool shed here for that anymore.
the venue. Yes, and we had all kinds of top acts. We had Shaka Khan from Rufus.
Mm-hmm.
She was pregnant at the time, but we had her there.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Kendricks, Whispers, Lakeside Express, gang of groups. But after about a year and a half, I guess people get tired of going to the same place, doing the same thing.
For sure.
It kind of dwindled, a little, less and less business to where we ended up closing down after about a year and a half. But that was quite an experience.
That was probably a very fun year and a half.
Oh, yes, it was quite a fun.
And I'd probably guess by that point, running a nightclub, you're probably partying a lot at that point too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is the 70s.
That's a contrast from what it sounds like your younger self was like when you were in school, taking it very seriously. When did you start partying?
Probably, matter of fact, it would have been during my senior year.
Mm.
My senior year, I'm winding it down.
Time to celebrate.
I think I only had to take, only another 14 or 18 units.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the classes I think it was like horticulture. The most serious one I had was statistics. So the other three was just classes like I just needed to show up and sometimes show up only for roll call. But the senior year was fun. So after the senior year, that's when I got involved with the club. And like I said, did that for about a year and a half, 2 years. And matter of fact, it was a year before the club that I had got married, 75. Yeah.
Did your wife support the club?
Yeah, she was.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like my girl would kill me if I opened a nightclub.
She had been working at one of the universities there since she graduated from Laverne, and that's what she continued to do for quite a few years. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you had a good woman if she's supporting your nightclub venture.
Thing. Yeah, well, she was there a lot, quite a bit.
That takes some trust, dude. Nightclub, dude, keep me out of that business. I get in trouble. I get in some trouble.
Oh.
So, I mean, back then, when you're partying, what are the drugs like in that day?
Probably in those days, this is the 70s, once again, mid-70s, probably most of the bud came from Mexico, different, which I didn't learn till probably later on in life, that they were just locations like Oaxaca or Michoacan or some of the different names they would label the bud that was coming up.
Yeah.
But there was no comparison to that to now, none whatsoever.
It's completely different now. Now it looks different, smokes different. People have strains. I imagine you weren't picking different strains of weed back then.
Far from it. No, you're dealing with the street peddler or somebody in the neighborhood, and they only had one strain at the time.
Yeah.
Whatever came in that 2.2 pound kilo that they received, that's what it was going to be. But a lot of it had seeds. If you got something with seeds.
I've smoked seeds plenty of times, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately,
crackles and pops.
It's not going to allow the potency of THC because energy is going to make seeds, produce seeds. So the next closest thing we had to what we have now would have been a thing called hash oil. Hash oil came in these little vials about that tall, and you could either mix it with your flour or you just spread it onto your paper before you roll it.
Interesting.
And hash oil was the stuff that would have you coughing.
That would get you high.
That would get you high. And it was more or less, I had one friend that had a little distiller where he made it himself. But it's just extracting the oils out of the leaves. And that was good stuff back then. Yep. The next best thing I had run across, this probably would have been like in 79. Yeah, around 79. A friend of mine was coming back from, I guess, after the Vietnam War. We still had bases throughout the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had just came back from Thailand. And he was able to smuggle in some bud. And this was the strangest bud I had ever seen because the leaves had to be about that thick. Because as you're crumbling it up with your hands, it's feeling like little chunks of hash or whatever. But it was flour.
Wow.
And
some different shit than you're used to.
We would always have these things called smokeouts.
Mm-hmm.
Even back in college, the loser not only had to buy the beer, that had to provide the bud that we were going to smoke. And we were going to smoke until the last man standing.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
me just constantly rolling, passing, smoking, talking, whatever, playing dominoes, whatever. But we're constantly smoking to see which team would have the most fellas still up when the other team 100% was out. Yeah. And
That sounds fun. We got to do that here.
Yeah.
We got to have a smoke out.
And we had to smoke out with that Thai smoke. And, man, I think we didn't get past the third one. Now, normally, we're smoking 15, 20,
wow,
joints.
So that Thai shit was serious.
It was serious. So serious that my girlfriend, when she came over the next morning, one of the guys that was smoking with us was in the bathroom, pants down at his knees. I guess he was taking a leak and passed something.
Just put him to
She
sleep.
walk in on him like that, yeah. But, that was some really good bet. That was the 70s. The 80s, now here comes cocaine. And it comes in for,
that's one of my favorites, personally.
It comes in for a number of reasons. The thing you hear about, and I believe there's a lot of truth in it, Freeway Willie and what's the other thing called? The something Contra affair.
Oh God, you want me to look it up?
Yes, look that one up.
The Contra affair?
Right, it's going to be.
Oh yes, the Iran Contra affair. Is that what you're referring to?
I think that is it.
This right here. A significant political scandal during the Ronald Reagan administration in the 80s involving the secret sale of arms to Iran in exchange for American hostages and the covert diversion of the profits from those sales to fund the anti-Sandinista rebel group known as the Contras in Nicaragua.
Uh-huh.
This scandal, exposed in late 1986, involved illegal activities that defied a congressional ban on Contra funding, according to the Boland Amendment, and violated U.S. policy against negotiating with terrorists. Wow. That's fucked up.
We might be able to look at this other thing now. They say that the news, South Africa was getting lots of unwanted news reports. Apartheid was at its highest level. I think at one time in South Africa, there may have been something like, and we might look to, because I'm going to come anywhere to exaggerate, but there was something like maybe 500 white, and they ruled over 5 million or whatever. How many?
Should I type in like how many white population maybe in 1980?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah. That's in South Africa, right?
In 1980, South Africa's white population was approximately 4.5 million. making up 13 to 15% of the total population. So that's very low.
Okay, and
Very low.
They were in charge of this apartheid government.
Yeah.
That the people like Mandela. Mandela was locked up.
Nelson Mandela.
And
Yeah.
at this time, with Mandela, I think was going to get released, or either was. I'm thinking that it was something that was detrimental, very detrimental. No, they had been asking for Mandela's release, and they wasn't doing it. South Africa was being more and more in the news, where it was exposing the fact that the apartheid government was really, had its foot on the neck of the Africans, the black folks that lived there. And in order to distract from that news notoriety, I think they introduced something to the CIA, because the thing that we looked at with the Contras, in Nicaragua,
Yep.
was that some things were being traded for cash, some things were being traded for goods. They were being paid with the best cocaine coming out of South, America. Now the government needed to, needed to convert this to cash. So in Los Angeles, a guy named Ricky, they call him Freeway Ricky, he was the one who you can look that one up too if you want to. He was the one who they gave the task of distributing.
Freeway Rick Ross? The real Rick Ross. Yeah, not the fake one, not the rapper.
Not the rapper.
This guy?
This guy right there. And,
Yeah, I've seen this guy before.
And he was moving all the cocaine that was coming in from, now, as we're going back to get South Africa out of the news, they needed something that would, over time, remove that news from them to somewhere else.
Yep.
So the CIA flooded the inner cities across the United States with cocaine.
And crack
and
cocaine.
not only cocaine, but specifically crack cocaine.
Yep.
Because of its addictive tendencies. It could, it was different from heroin, but it wasn't heroin. As far as I'm concerned, the addictive capabilities of crack cocaine is more mental than it is physical.
Interesting.
What do you call it? The heroin is addictive not only mentally but physically. Your body, you go with what they call withdrawals. You're not going through no withdrawals when you stop smoking crack cocaine, and it's nothing but some type of movie BS.
Yeah.
It's just like it's more of a mental and a way of life, as opposed to being something that you gotta have or need to have. They used to tell a joke. What was it? A heroin addict will steal your money. A crack head will steal your money, but then try to help you find it. Okay? We'll tell you, well, let's look over here. All the time it's in his pocket. Okay? So that was one of the things about crack. It just really destroyed so many inner cities. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I'm glad to say that we've overcome that little issue. But yeah, it was introduced by the CIA.
CIA is one of the biggest drug dealers in American history. Probably the biggest.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yep.
I mean, CIA is the plug when you really think about it.
What was that guy? Lieutenant Norton. Can you look that one up?
Lieutenant Norton?
Lieutenant J. North or something North.
North?
No. Yeah, that might be up the top.
Which this right here?
Nope, right above it.
Just
Right.
Lieutenant North?
Yeah. Oliver North.
Oliver
That is-
North?
Yes.
This guy.
He's a lot younger there.
What's this guy's deal? Who is he?
Okay, so as you go down there,
He was an NSA staff or National Security Council staff member during the Iran-Contra affair.
illegal sale of weapons to the Khomeini regime.
Let me zoom this in a little better so I can see
Okay,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Keep going, yeah.
Nice.
Because in there it will talk about the fact that it was back up a little bit higher.
Oh, back up a little bit higher. It's like up here somewhere.
Yes, right there in the center, North Formula.
Oh yeah, and he testified. He was granted immunity from prosecution
Right.
for testifying before Congress about the scheme.
Yes.
And he was initially convicted on 3 felony charges, but the convictions were vacated and reversed. All charges dismissed in 1991 on the grounds of immunity.
So here was this thing between Nicaragua, which is where the cocaine was coming from. He was dealing more with Iran. So the money had a cycle it would go through.
Yep.
It would leave Nicaragua or whatever as cocaine, come through the U.S., cash, out to Iran, cash to buy weapons for a war that we weren't supposed to be supporting.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was...
Government does some fucked up shit. Government does some real fucked up shit. So you had mentioned that you had a problem with coke and crack.
Yeah, well, you know, like
When
I
did
said,
you first try it?
In the inner cities, who didn't?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember when I first tried it. It had to be sometime during the 80s.
I tried crack one time.
Okay.
One time when I was younger.
Unfortunately, I wish I would have been one time for me.
Yeah.
But the amount of money that could be made was just crazy. At one point, I was introduced to this guy. He was from Colombia. His brother was a senator in Colombia. So he
It's
had
a good friend to have.
he had attaché power. So which meant when he landed at the airport, he didn't get searched.
Yeah.
And he brought in quite a bit of cocaine during that time. I think I was working at Southern California Edison. I guess it all worked out that way. So working at Southern California Edison, I got a entry-level job reading meters at San Bernardino, what was called Rialto. And I had been there about a year and a half, and it was time for me to move up to what they call a serviceman, doing collection, turn-on, turn-offs, calibration of the actual meter. So there was one day I had an occasion to where I was supposed to collect $34 or something from this house. So I knock on the door, lady come to the door, and she's got on her house coat, 2 little snotty-nosed kids on either side of her, and I'm telling her I need to collect $34 and whatever cents, or else I'm going to have to turn your lights off. And she was telling me she didn't have it, and I'm thinking like, oh, man, this is a cutout for me. I'm not sure if I turned them off or I left, but I know that evening when I got back to the office, I had a supervisor named Bob Hill. And we got along great. For a supervisor, we got along really good. And I told him that I was going to have to resign. And he asked me why. I told him why. He said, well, you can't let that stand in the way of your career, Orson. You need to. I said, no, I just can't. I don't see myself turning off people's lights for the stockholders and the chairman of the board, whoever this is of Edison. I can't do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a hard job.
Yeah, it would be. And, maybe it would take you, I think from there, you'd probably move to some supervisory position. But I don't know if I could take the 6 months or a year of doing that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, just fucking people's day up
couldn't
every day.
I couldn't let, yeah. And they would fire me otherwise if I'm not collecting the money. But yes, but at that same time, I think what I made in a year at Edison, I had in my trash can in my study in cocaine.
Oh my God.
Because at that time, I'm in pretty good with the guy whose brother was a senator. And
so he's hooking you up great.
he's hooking me up great. It's the best thing anybody's seen in a long time. But like anything, I think this lasted for about a year, almost a year and a half. All of a sudden, poof, he's gone. And I could not find any other reliable sources or anything comparable to the prices and the deals I was getting with him. So eventually I left that field.
And what was like the going rate for blowback then? Like, let's say, how much on average was someone calling you to buy, and what were you charging them for?
Oh, if you were getting even an ounce was costing you about $2,500 for 28 grams an ounce of.
Okay, so that's expensive as hell.
Oh, hell
that
yes.
That sounds.
Hell yes, it was very expensive. It wasn't a cheap high, no.
But it was insanely clean stuff. It sounds like.
Well, yeah, when you got clean stuff, yeah. A lot of people cut it with all kinds of weird stuff. We had discovered something called in the health store called an isotol. An isotol.
Do you know how to spell that? I kind of want to Google this.
I-N.
I feel like I can maybe.
C-I-T-O-L.
Oh, there it is. INOSITOL.
Supplement.
Isotal, a sugar-like compound often called vitamin B8. Is that?
That was it.
Wow.
Reading about it.
So
The
what
thing
about this?
It was that we could cut. A lot of people use a stuff called lactose.
I've heard that very
and
commonly.
other things to cut with. It's really powdery and fluffy. The thing about an isotol is that it's kind of heavy. So you don't have to cut as much to still change the weight.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas with the lactose, it's real light and fluffy. You'd have to use maybe 2 times that to raise the weight up. Because most of your cuts are going to be, you take an ounce. You're either going to, what they call step on, you're going to cut it once or you're going to cut it twice. Cutting it once means you're taking that 1 ounce and now you got 1.5 ounces. That's where your profit's usually in that half, okay?
Yeah, that's free money you just created.
If you can cut it more, you cut it more. But we found with the anisotol, we didn't have to use as much to affect the weight, which is all we really wanted to do. That other fluffy stuff would clog your nose up, do everything else.
Yeah.
And you can also, when you're what they call rocking cocaine, taking it from the cocaine you buy, medicine powder, to rocking it, you're using water, baking soda, baking soda, and then water and heat. And you're just moving it around in a glass, and eventually it gels and drops, and then that becomes your rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you freeze it after.
You have to freeze it. If it's good, you can just, once it's solid,
really?
you could take it and throw it up against the wall and it won't break. Yeah.
Really?
If it's really good, yeah.
Wow.
So that's, yep. So then that was a technique. There was some people that were better cooks than others, but that was the process of taking it from cocaine that you could snort. And once you rock it up, you cannot snort it.
Yeah. You got to smoke it now.
Yes, because you burn a hole in your nose otherwise. But it's just the baking soda is kind of a cleanser, and it's getting rid of a lot of the fluff the lactose, the isotal. It's getting rid of that and it's taking it back to the as close as you can to the actual medicine or the stuff when they pulled it off the leaf.
Yeah, I mean, in the same
Colombia.
way you think of what hash oil is to weed, you're creating a concentrate of cocaine. It's,
Exactly.
Same kind of process.
And so like I said, after attempts to work with other folks and it wasn't any that business and people at that time wouldn't be played with anyway. You could actually lose your life. I had one experience to where this guy told me a friend of his wanted to get 4 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, over in Las Vegas. And I'm thinking, cool, okay, we'll fly over, because back then you could fly to Vegas like $29. So we flew over, but flying
There's no
over.
TSA yet either.
Yeah, no TSA, it wasn't as bad as TSA.
They didn't
but
have
still,
the machines and all that shit.
but still, even with the TSA today, you could not take protection with you. We couldn't take a gun with us. So, you're kind of going over to do this deal and you're somewhat at a disadvantage. And the guy that I went with, we checked into this hotel called, I wish I could think of the name of it, but they had bungalows, and they were separate little buildings. And we checked into one of those. Myself, already thinking and being careful, I went down the street to another hotel. I forget the name of this one, but I remember going there before, and I remember they always had a bellman or somebody at the door. Mm-hmm. You wasn't going to go onto the elevator if you didn't have business there, didn't have a pass key or whatever. So I checked in up there, and that's where I left 3 of the 4 ounces there. Mm-hmm. That was the best thing I did. So anyway.
Always got to stash a little bit.
Yeah, we go to do the deal the following night. The guys come over. I think they had these, exotic type of pipes you could smoke out of. This one here happens to be one with a big belly about like that.
Ooh.
And it's just like, a bonging. And it had a little stem that came out the top. Back then, you would either put Brillo or a series of screens. Okay, just little small round screens. You maybe put 5 or 6 screens in there. Because as you're heating it, it's the heat on the metal that's causing the smoke, the liquid to turn to smoke. Because it's a solid piece, but then it goes liquid. But when that metal heats it up, it turns to smoke. Now you're filling up this big old belly of this thing, and you're hitting it in. Now, there's all kinds of sensations from crack. And the realest one that most people will say they have when they get a real good hit, your ears ring.
Interesting.
You would hear this ringing in your ear. That's when you know you got a good hit. Who's going to be ringing in the ears. But anyway, so the guys come over and we're smoking out of one of these big old things. Then one guy goes into the bathroom and he comes out and all of a sudden he's got a gun. And he's saying, on the ground, motherfuckers, da-da-da-da-da-da. The guy who I came with did some old funny style move like this, like he was going to hit him. The guy hits him. He falls down and don't get up. Anyway, so then they come over to me, and I can feel the guy grab the back of my shirt collar. And I'm thinking, he's going to just blow my brains out here. But he pulled on this chain I had around my neck. The thing about the chain was that before they came over that night, we went to meet them in North Vegas at their house. And at that time, I was wearing this chain, and I had this big old gold nugget that was on the chain.
Oh, shit.
So here I'm thinking the guy's coming to blow my brains out, and he pulls on the chain, and that was it. Well, I didn't realize it till later that night when I'm unbuttoning my shirt, and the nugget falls on the ground. That's what that sucker was trying to. He was trying to get my gold nugget, and I'm thinking he's going to blow my brains out. No, but anyway, to make a long story short, it was all a setup. Okay,
The whole entire
by the
thing.
guy who I flew over there in the fucking plane with.
Wow.
As I told you, the guy came out with a gun. He made some kind of move.
Yeah.
And the guy hit him. He falls down. It's like when I played all this stuff through my head again that I realized, oh, I was set up. But they didn't get what they wanted, which was the 4 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
They got that 1 ounce.
Yeah, because you stashed your other 3.
And they took the pipe as well. They took the pipe.
No, not the nice pipe.
They took the pipe.
Not the damn pipe.
These crackheads. Yeah, they took the pipe. But I think when it finally hit me, I told that dude Tommy, I said, man, here's some money. You get the fuck out of here. However you plan on going, but I'm out of here. See, he didn't know I had the other room at the hotel down the street. But I gave him money to fly back and told him, because he set the whole thing up.
Yeah.
It was a total setup. You know what I mean?
I assume you guys never spoke again after that.
No, we didn't have nothing to say to each other about nothing. But yeah, so it was serious stuff. There's a lot of serious. Now my contact from Colombia was really upset that I went over there because I didn't really fully think the whole thing through. Mm-hmm. And he was telling me about the different families that ran shit in Vegas.
Yep.
And that it's a wonder I didn't get killed by one of them. Okay? So it was a dangerous times. And like I said, once he disappeared, I tried a few other contacts. Things were always shady, working funny, sometimey. So I decided, okay, it's time to leave this business alone. And that probably was somewhere in about 85, 86. Because in 87, I started working at this company called Teledyne Cast. And it was an entry-level job in inspection. And I liked it. And seemed like that was... It had a union, though. It had the Teamsters Union. I still don't even know what that was about. You know, you pay your dues. Yeah. And what do you get? I don't know. But from that job, well, I'm there for about a year and a half, and there's a chance for a promotion. And even though I was a better candidate, this other guy got the job because he had a certificate showing that he had taken certain courses, non-destructive testing and statistics and different quality classes, the same ones they offered at Mount San Antonio Junior College. Well, that year I started working on that. It took me about a year and a half to get all of the different certs. But by the time I did that, I'm working at another company called El Monte Tool and Die. At El Monte Tool and Die, we made a lot. These things called practice bombs.
Okay.
And the most, the spec or requirements for the practice bomb, more or less, it had to weigh a certain amount. It couldn't be more than plus or minus a few grams. Probably plus or minus a few ounces, because the thing was a 35 or 40 pounder. Mm-hmm. And I guess the Navy used those as practice bombs when they were out in training and doing shit. And from there was when
it's
I got...
It's a crazy thing to manufacture.
Yeah.
Making bombs for the Navy to go practice.
Bombs for the Navy.
That's insane.
And these things ran nonstop. It was like, you know what I mean? And it was shaped like a small torpedo. Mm-hmm. It had like three or four fins coming off the back of it. And, the regular shape of a torpedo. But they weren't no bigger than that. Mm-hmm. And like I said, they weighed about 35 pounds. And that was the requirement, dimensional, didn't really matter that much, I guess. But all we had to do is check the weight every couple of hours, make sure they were. But when I was finishing up with that and with the certification, I got an offer from a company in Rancho Cucamonga called Mission Plastics. And that was a place where I was telling you about the resuscitator.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I started there. Well, why don't you pull that one up, by the way? Mission Plastics.
Mission Plastics.
I started
Rancho
there
Cucamonga.
with Pat Dolphiny, the owner, in 1990
Mission Plastics.
or 91.
Let's see. These guys?
These guys right here. When
Mission
I started with
Plastics.
him, he's now over in Riverside, I believe now.
It says Ontario.
Ontario.
Yep.
Okay.
I have no idea where that is in California.
Yeah, that's the HTP. The one, the one that was above that. Oh no, I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
they have 2 locations.
Okay.
One in the U.S. and one in Mexico now.
Oh, okay.
Wow, they expanded.
Yes, they did. Well, when I was working with him in Cucamonga, he had 13 when I started. When I left, he had 19 machines.
Wow.
This facility here has hundreds of machines. Did they say how many?
Yeah, I mean, and these machines are absurdly expensive.
Now, this one here is in what you would call a clean room environment.
Uh-huh.
They're making some type of medical device or something that requires clean room.
I wonder if they have any more pictures here on the site. Let's see. Manufacturing. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's still a clean room.
Let's see if we
environment.
can. Yeah. There's a clean room with some people in it right there.
Yeah.
They all got all that. Were you having to wear equipment like that?
You have to gown up. You have to cover your hair, and yeah.
Wow.
And when you're entering the area, the first room you go through is like a blow room or something like that, because it blows a burst of air to shake anything off you. Then you go to this other room that I guess kind of removes any other things, and then you gown up in that room, and you're able to go out into the floor.
What actually was your degree that you got from Cal Poly?
It was in political science.
Oh, interesting. So that's not this at all.
My whole thing in life was to become an attorney. So political science. Then I was going to go to law school, but in the meantime, after I got my BA, I got married, and
That gets in the way. Huh?
yeah, you got to pay. You got to pay bills now. You can't live that life of freeness and just go to law school. That's what I needed. Would have been a nice.
So by the time all this came around in your life, your family, you'd already started a family and everything. You started your family.
This is in '87, so I started that in '87. So my second son was born. My first son and second son, they're like 8 years apart.
Yeah.
Oldest in '79, the youngest in '87. And so by this time, second kid on the way. But things were looking good because
You're not selling crack anymore.
I got my first management job with Mission Plastics.
Yeah.
From there, there was another one called Trademark Plastics where I went next. And
Let's look them up. Let's see if they're still around.
I'm sure Trademark is. They're probably still in Cucamonga too.
Trademark. Oh yeah, their suggested came up. Look at that, Riverside.
Oh, they moved to Riverside. Okay.
Oh, look at that picture.
Yeah.
It's a nice room right there.
Yep. That's another clean room.
Wow.
What do you think?
There's
the street view there. Huh?
That's a nice little park they're in there.
Okay.
So how long did you work for these guys?
I worked for Trademark for about. Matter of fact, I ended up leaving Mission Plastics to go and work for Trademark.
It's an interesting industry to be in. Like what these companies manufacture is so fascinating to me.
Almost everything.
Wow.
Almost everything.
How did you I mean, obviously you were trained by the companies, but how do you really learn how to do this kind of work? Like, what is the training? What do you?
Well, my department was inspection, quality control.
So you just learned by inspecting these things, kind of picking up over time.
Right. There was one, when I worked for Mission Plastics, there was a non-contact measurement system that I had. Mm-hmm. I was instrumental in the company getting, and there was a stage, a glass where you could put the part, and then you can focus in on it, and it had edge detection. So when you came to the edge of the part, it would like beep. You can get another edge beep. You can get the length of it, the width, the height, all different types of measurements. Now the name of the game is CMM, coordinate measuring machines, and those are the ones that most companies use now. But yeah, a lot of it I learned on the go, or just being there, being around. Some of it, I really had a desire to learn more and more about it. That's why I know what I know now about quality management systems and setting them up. I think I should have brought my book with me, but I have a binder where I think this would have been in 2014 that I started doing consulting work while I was working for this company called Invenius in Santa Barbara. But I would go into a company, do everything they needed to have done as far as setting up forms, procedures, training, auditing to make sure the systems were doing what they're supposed to be doing. And the name of the game in AS is traceability, records traceability. Records traceability. When a plane comes out of the sky, they want to know why and what can we do to make sure this doesn't happen again. And as they're going through the wreckage and they find that your part maybe be the culprit, you're going to get a visit from the FAA.
You're in some big trouble.
Right. You're in big trouble.
Have you ever seen something like that happen?
No, I've never. I've heard about it, but never actually known or seen a company where this happened. But you're going to have documented proof that you did what the requirements and specifications call for. So that's why traceability and documentation is so important. You make this widget. Did it take any outside processing? Did it need any outside special testing, radiographic testing, or penetrant inspection, or whatever, to make sure that it met the drawing and purchase order requirements? Some engineers spend a lot of time developing this, whatever it is, widget, and if you follow these steps, this widget's going to perform the way it was intended.
It's already been tested. It should be perfect.
You skip a step or shortcut something, it's not going to work right. And the main one of the things for AS9100 is airworthiness. Is it worthy of flying? Is it worthy of your children, mother, getting on that plane and going to whatever the destination is? So you learn. At least I took the sincerity of it to heart. I would never pass a faulty part than anything. Why? What's my motivation to, and besides, this would be so ironic that I get on an airplane with the faulty part that I approved. Wow. What a payback, right?
Can't have that.
Right.
Can't have that.
So it's real serious stuff. And back to, I was helping these companies set their systems up, and it would take usually about 6 months. I have them ready to go. We'll call the third-party registrar, and they'll send out an auditor, and average costs for using the registrars, depending on the size of your company, it can be anywhere from $5,000 to $35,000. The more employees, the rate goes up, and there's even a max for that. I forget, something like 250, anything over that.
Damn.
Yeah. Because the auditor has to interview so many of those employees to see if the flow down of information in their understanding is they know how to do their job and do it correctly. They know how to look for certain things. We have this one thing called FOD, or foreign object detection, that's an annual training that everyone has to go through because you don't want anything in a box or being shipped that wasn't requested, such as paper clips or rocks
Yep.
or whatever. I've heard a story about one person shipping and receiving, opening a box up, and there was a peanut butter sandwich in it. You know,
It's a free snack right there.
yeah. So things like that you want to have your folks looking for all the time, and it's got to be quite embarrassing for the company who sent it. I'm sure somebody got a hold of them and said, "Hey, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, it's a peanut butter
Don't
sandwich."
send me a sandwich ever again. Unless it's got ham.
So, but anyway, I would have them ready in 6 months. There's no way really to fail an audit. Maybe more time consuming, but as long as whatever discrepancy the auditor finds, you should be able to come up with a plan to mitigate or eliminate that problem. And that's the only way you would fill an audit would be, okay, I can't answer this, or we refuse to do this. But I've had as many as 13 findings, and I've had probably plenty where there were none. But the 13 findings means probably I had a major in there too, but all I had to do was write out a plan of corrective action, what we're going to do, how we're going to monitor it.
And a major is just like a big issue
It's
in the process.
It's a big issue, and it takes more time to more objective evidence is required for a major.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that, okay, we're going to, on this one document, we're going to now sign it and put a date, initial it and put a date to it so we'll know who the person was. Because that's a write-up. If there's documentation and someone it's not recognizable that someone at least picked it up, the initial and date indicates you read it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's supposed to indicate. But you just sign it and date it, But so you were found, one of the findings was that you weren't properly identifying who read it, who took responsibility for that document. And you probably would have to have like 6 months of documentation showing that people on every shift, all the inspectors were now initialing and dating documents. So that's why a major would take longer, because you need more proof that you really, this is a more or less secondary to your usage. Just a normal task, you automatically do it that way. You know that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
Now, I'm kind of curious, taking it back to a little earlier in your career, you talked about how you kind of gotten a job and straightened out and stopped selling crack and selling coke and doing all that. But would you ever have considered yourself an addict? And did you have a problem with smoking it?
Oh, no. Like I told you, it's totally a mental type of a addiction or whatever. And then, like I said, it becomes maybe a lifestyle. But I never really developed it as a lifestyle. I guess the way I would look at it is not what you do, but how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
For sure.
I never went to some levels that people go for that were dealing with crack. But if you were taking a census or a reading of number of people between such and such age living in such and such geographical area,
Yep.
you could probably say, okay, well, yeah, 65% of them over there smoking crack.
Mm.
Whereas
That's a lot of people. You think it was that many?
I think it was that high.
Really?
It was touching everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, they flooded.
That's unbelievable.
They flooded the market with it.
Wow.
And you could do that same area today, you find less than 4%, or even, maybe none. It's just one of those things that, okay, we all learned our lessons and we know the evils of that shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, they obviously targeted certain neighborhoods with it too.
Well, yeah,
so.
yes. All across the country.
Yep.
All from coast to coast. Yes, they did. And that was part of the CIA's South Africa plan to distract from apartheid government and what they were doing over there. And it all just worked out, I mean, so so smoothly for him. It really did. I think, yeah, I guess I'd have to question as to, okay, had I continued to contact with my Colombian person, would it have ever stopped? I don't know. But I know that was one of the things that, thank God, that occurred that caused it to go away, because it was like day and night dealing with him versus dealing with people I had to deal with, after he disappeared. So that was, it was fun. It was money to be made, but it wasn't worth my life.
Yeah.
I could do something else. I thank goodness, at least I recognize that. Yeah, there's other things I can do.
So you're still, you never threw your life away for it. You were always still like functional and maintaining your responsibilities.
Oh, yes.
Were you like, I'm trying to imagine this, like, were you like coming home from work and like hopping on the couch, hitting the crack pipe like a normal night, or like, what was like, when would you use it?
Well, no, it's basically broken out for special occasions type of thing. It wasn't a daily
like
type
a weekend, like Saturday night,
right.
Homies are coming over, let's get high, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And for the most part, too, before I ran across my contact, you couldn't afford to more than 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you were seriously
It's not cheap, I'd imagine.
No. You could get what they call an 8-ball back then. I'm going to say about 125 maybe.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Something like that, 125 for 3.5 grams.
And how long would that last you typically? Let's say.
That could last you on a good night, an hour and a half.
An hour?
Hour and a half, depending on how many people too. If it was just
let's say a night to yourself. You're just hanging out at home.
That's probably one of the few drugs you really
don't want to do that.
You're gonna have a female around or something. You know what I mean? You're not gonna. That's not one to do by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you got your girl with you.
Right.
The two of you pick up a ball. How fast is that going?
That could last the two of you maybe 2-3 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, you guys got to be smoking it damn near nonstop.
No, because a ball isn't going to be bigger than my thumb right there.
I'm not versed in crack. I did a lot of blow in my day. I'm not versed in crack.
No, because what you said, we were taking a lot of we're purifying it.
Yep.
So you're taking
you got to concentrate of it.
You take all the fluff out, yes. So the size it shrinks, yeah. So
and that's $120 for that bag that you're smoking
for
in
that
2
amount
hours.
there, yeah.
Wow, that's expensive, dude.
It is. Yes.
Oh my God, that's way more expensive than just doing blow.
Right. But say, for example, now you remember by the time I told you you get an ounce. Now you can make it into 1.5 ounces.
Mm-hmm. You got that margin.
So that whole 1/2 ounce is free. That's either party or sell for profit. And so in that case, then, you just won't make as much profit, but you got as much as you want for the weekend. Provided that ounce is sold. Yeah.
Wow, that's such just like hearing you talk about how common it was. That's such a different era. Like now, I mean, crack is not I don't think a super common drug.
No,
like it's much more niche, I would say.
Yeah, and like I said, besides that, so many of us learned our lessons about the pitfall of it. It wasn't. It wasn't a likable. You might like it, but it didn't like you. You know what I mean? It was going to take you down one way or the other. So,
did it ever cause any like health issues or other types of problems like that for you?
No, not for me. No, I can't think of many people that it did. As far as their hard to. I know there was some acquaintances that it caused relationship issues or stuff like that. You know, the one of the two halves may have had a little bit more sense of saying, hey, this ain't going nowhere. We're not gaining anything with this. We got to leave this alone. And one side decided not to do it. The other one's gone. See ya. So
when did you finally decide, like, I'm not going to smoke crack anymore?
Well, like I said, once I tried other avenues to fill the void of the Colombian connection I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those
Shit got bad pretty quick.
Yeah,
huh?
some of those were quite risque. You know, and when you're dealing with that amount of money, you know, trying to buy 5 kilos, which is about 10 to 12 pounds.
That's a lot of
That's a lot of cash.
That's a lot
and
of shit.
people die over that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose not to take that route. I think pretty soon after that was when I bought my first home up in Cucamonga, Rancho Cucamonga.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, believe it or not, we paid $87,000 for it. It was still being built.
Wow.
When we first looked at the models, and
that's a place full of $1 million houses now.
2,700 square feet. Oh yeah. I'm sure that house is at least 650 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, at minimum 650.
2,700 square feet too.
Yeah.
That's a huge house, dude.
Yes.
Wow.
3-bedroom, 3-car garage.
For $87,000.
$87,000.
American Dream used to be real.
This was in 1987.
God, the American Dream used to be real, y'all.
Yeah.
Used to be able to get a house for a fair price. Now it's $1 million fucking dollars for a 2-bedroom cottage. It's unbelievable.
I saw a piece of property in Santa Barbara. It was just a rundown house on a lot that was good for nothing. It was still $1 million something.
Oh, this whole state specifically, I mean, anywhere around LA or Santa Barbara or further up north, San Francisco especially, it's unbelievable how expensive real estate is now.
Ooh.
It's crazy. So, do you remember the last time you smoked crack? Like literally the last day you did it where you're like, fuck it?
I don't think I do.
Was it like a long time ago?
Oh, hell yeah. I haven't messed with any of that since. It was before 1999 even. I would say it probably was in the late 90s. Yeah, probably 97, 98. Because if I think about the year 1999, my oldest brother, one of my younger sisters, and myself, we brought in 2000 that year together, and none of us was smoking anything, even snorting any cocaine. No, we smoked some good bud and had some champagne. So yeah,
that's the way to live.
By
there.
that time, yeah, by the late 90s, yeah, that was over.
Did you ever get to try Quaaludes?
I think so. I'm gonna say, are they like a Christmas tree color? Are they 3 different colors?
Oh God, you're asking. I'm too young for them, man.
Let's see.
Let's look them up.
They'll show you the pill.
Let's see.
Back then, when I was in college,
like these little fuckers.
I think. Oh no, I haven't seen that type. Over here,
these ones?
Nope, the ones in the top left. See the different color ones that are blue and
yeah.
And, but
yeah, they had lots of different varieties, I'd imagine.
Right. You can go to barbiturates. I don't know if they would have a Red Devil, but
what's a Red Devil?
Red Devil was a Eli Lilly pill.
Should I look at what should I search for this?
I tried just barbiturates, I guess.
That's gonna bring up. It's gonna bring up a lot of different things. I mean,
Now see those over there, the red and blue ones.
Here?
Next one over, next
Oh,
frame over.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh,
there
in the
you go.
top left here.
Yeah.
Let me
What is
pop
that
this
one?
image open so we can zoom in on it and everything.
Okay. You see the bottom lower corner look like they could have been.
Here we go.
Aha, sodium secondol. Those
Yep.
are red devils. The ones in the lower left.
What do those do?
That was the red devil. It would really just mellow you out. You take too many, you're gonna go to sleep. Take too many, you're gonna overdose. In the early '70s, a lot of the LSD was coming out of UCLA. They had some crazy chemists over there, and they were making all kinds of hallucinogenics. I remember getting some orange sunshine.
I've heard stories about.
Orange sunshine. Me and two of my friends, we did that shit one night, and we were in the car. And I'm telling you, I could see the street sign, the letters on the street, saying the street name, at least a half a mile away.
Really?
At least that's what my brain was telling me. And
You had
I
some
was
super
familiar
senses.
I was familiar with the area, but at the same time, I was telling them what street was the fifth light down there. Tell you, yeah.
You're like Google Maps.
But but one thing you would do is that if you're going to take any type of hallucinogenic, any LSD, orange sunshine, window pane, Mickey Mouse, they had all these different acids, tabs of acids you could take. You wanted to always make sure you had a red devil or two red devils.
Would that enhance your trip, or what was the point of that?
No, when your trip is over and you're coming, what they say, coming down or crashing, you want to take that where your crash isn't long. You go
We use Xanax for that nowadays.
Oh, okay. You want to be, when it's over, you want to be able to just go to sleep.
Yep,
And,
I would always bring a Xan with me whenever I was coming down
okay,
for
well,
my
that's what we
LSD
used
trips.
Sodium secondol for.
Would you say that experience with the orange sunshine was like your best psychedelic experience?
Yeah, that was. Yeah. I've had orange sunshine. I don't think I ever had purple haze.
Tell me about the rest of that trip. What was that like? The acid probably hit different back then.
Well, yeah, that was a funny night, too, because the two of my friends, Rick Kelly and Daryl White, we were going to Cal Poly.
Uh-huh.
And this is probably 72, 73. We had one class that was called, what was that class called? Something, the philosophy of thought. The philosophy of thought. I want to say that's the name of it. But this, the instructor, his name James Benson, he was an African-American professor. He played different instruments. And in his classes, we were philosophy of black thought. That was the name of it. Philosophy of black thought. And pretty decent class. Every Friday, one of the students or the instructor would host a thing that we called the Galdau experience or some kind of a experience, okay? And we would meet at this person's house, and we would just, as they say, philosophize, talk about different things. Usually there'd be candles lit, real quiet, atmosphere, just really trying to hear what the person's saying that's talking. And hear me, Daryl White, and Rick Kelly, high off some orange sunshine, come busting into this place. Everybody's like on pillows laid back, talking low. And we come busting in this place on orange sunshine. And Rick Kelly particularly could not stop laughing. And we're just making all this fucking noise and disturbing the ambiance or whatever they were feeling in there.
Yep.
And we stayed for about 5 minutes or so. We were on our way, gone to somewhere else, doing something else. Do the Freak Brothers. Are you familiar with the Freak Brothers?
No. Who are the Freak Brothers? Yeah, let me look up the Freak Brothers.
That's how we probably felt when we left out of that place. See these three guys right there?
Yeah.
That's the Freak Brothers.
Oh.
That was the
three of y'all that day.
That was the comic strips that were out for underground scripts.
Mm.
And they went, if you ever get a chance, read one of the Freak Brothers episodes.
Oh, I've never seen these before.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, that's the Freak Brothers.
These guys look fascinating.
They're always smoking on some bud. Always doing something, I mean, really silly. But, yeah, the way we busted into that philosophy of thought, black thought, room of people, like I said, these are all just laid back. They probably just got into that zone.
Mm-hmm.
And here we come in, laughing, talking loud, and acting silly. And it was all because of the Orange Sunshine. We didn't tell them that. They probably figured as much. But, yeah, that was Orange Sunshine was the best. Something you could do almost every day was a thing called window pane.
Mm-hmm.
It was a clear piece of, almost looked like plastic. But you wouldn't need more than a square centimeter of that stuff to get off. But yeah.
And what was the window pane? Just like a different form of LSD, or was that
A different form. You were high and you would have some type of mental experience of something.
interesting?
Yeah. Whereas with the Orange Sunshine, though, that was the only one that I actually saw trails.
Yeah.
You know,
Gave you
something
full visuals.
Yeah, something went by. You could see like every point of that movement,
Mm-hmm.
the trail of it. But other than the Orange Sunshine, I can't. So I've never tried. I would have if I had found some. I never had Purple Haze.
Mm.
A lot of folks, I really never got into the shrooms as much. Mushrooms,
I was the same way when I was younger. I only took acid.
yeah, take it or leave it.
I like shrooms now, though. Shrooms are fun. It's a very like mellow trip too, because shrooms only last like 5-6 hours.
Okay.
Whereas you take a tab of acid,
Oh, yeah, no
you're in
telling.
trouble for the whole day. You got 10, 12 hours, you're
Right.
doing nothing.
You're right.
But
Yeah.
how many times would you say you've taken LSD, like in total? Can you even count? I'm guessing a lot by the way you worded it.
Lose counted. Yeah. It was a lot. In the like I said, I would have been in 74, 75.
Yeah.
But whatever new stuff they were cooking up over there at UCLA, we would always it was working its way down to us. So, yeah.
And I mean, this was an interesting era too, because these psychedelic drugs were new.
Right. Yeah.
LSD was brand new.
Well, a lot of us were familiar with what's the famous guy with drugs? I mean, with LSD. Timothy Leary. Look up that name. Timothy Leary. He was our guy back then.
I mean,
And
was an American psychologist and author known for his strong advocacy of psychedelic drugs.
yeah.
Evaluations of Leary are polarized, ranging from bald oracle to publicity hound. Oh man, that would piss me off. If they put that on my Wikipedia page after I died, dude. I'd be so mad.
Yeah,
Oh.
see, President Nixon disagreed, calling Timothy Leary the most dangerous man in America.
He was a clinical psychologist at Harvard University who founded the Harvard Psilocybin Project after a revealing experience with magic mushrooms he had in Mexico in 1960. I've
Okay.
never heard about this.
Oh, really?
This
When you
is
get a
fascinating,
chance,
actually.
When you get a chance, take a look at
For
it.
2 years, he tested psilocybin's therapeutic effects in the Concord prison experiment and the Marsh Chapel experiment. He also experimented with LSD, which was also legal in the U.S. at the time. LSD was legal at the
I
time?
guess so. It was hallucinogenic, I guess.
That was before the
Wow.
big scheduling act, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
I never knew it was legal at one time.
Other Harvard faculty questioned his research's scientific legitimacy and ethics because he took psychedelics himself along with his subjects and allegedly pressured students to join in.
But
What a
right
great
now,
guy. Are you kidding?
I read an article the day before yesterday where they're saying that LSD reduces anxiety.
Oh, for sure.
And
it
some
does.
people
Yeah.
have totally been able to no longer have any anxiety.
If you have a good experience on it, it's so great. And the
Okay.
afterglow,
Okay.
I feel like the day after you're feeling good. Have you ever had the bad acid trip?
Not that I can recall. No. No.
Bad acid trips can
Really?
fuck you up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But
You mean from the very beginning is bad, not when you're crashing bad, but
no,
throughout.
like I mean, like you're tripping out, like
Oh,
you're having a
okay.
bad experience. Maybe you took too much, and like you start.
I witnessed this before. This friend of mine, matter of fact, we had just got out of basketball practice.
Uh-huh.
This one guy, he used to always have what we stopped there a minute ago, psilocybin.
Yep.
He had some, and he showed these guys that he had some, and they wanted to snort some right now. He said, "Man, we shouldn't."
You want to snort it?
I haven't cut it yet. Yeah, it was in a powder.
Oh,
It's
what?
powder form. And he said, I haven't had a chance to cut it yet. And they wanted it right then and right there. Well, they did that. We all ended up at this other friend of mine's house. But it seemed like about a half hour after we got there, the two guys started tripping, man. I mean, like really. I mean, one guy was talking about how much he loved Nixon, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And one guy was like crying about some problem he had. And they both were like on two different levels but the psilocybin had fucked them up. They had,
So that scared you away from that shit.
Oh, yes, indeed. And we were giving them milk to drink. We don't know if they're going to die, what the hell is going to happen. And finally because that happened like at about 7 or 8 o'clock that previous night because we had just got out of basketball practice. And it wasn't until about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning that night that they finally came around. But we didn't know if they were going to die or what.
I mean, you just kind of had to wing it too because the internet wasn't a thing.
No, right, exactly.
You can't just go Google like, what do I do about this?
Exactly.
You got to just
and
wait
I
it
think,
out.
We winged it with the milk thing. That's something you do for heroin as well.
Yeah.
And we kept them up and walking. Every so often they'd have to get up and walk around. Might have somebody on either side, but they have to walk around. And we stayed with them until, say, about 4 o'clock in the morning. They finally were all right. But that was that. Yeah, I never fucked with no psilocybin. Nope. That's okay.
I was kind of the same way when I was younger. I tried it once and I had a bad trip. And I didn't take it for a long time. And now I don't like taking LSD anymore, and I love taking psilocybin.
Okay.
I've switched up a little bit. But maybe one day I'll go back to taking LSD. Would you ever take acid again?
It'd have to be some type of real special occasion. I just hit the lotto for $1 billion. Yep.
Oh, yeah. We're taking acid for sure. You hit $1 billion lotto.
Bring me I don't want too much. Bring me a small tab because I want to live to spend this money. But for now, I need to just say, fuck it.
Well, the CIA's rigging the lotto, too. Have you heard about that?
No.
There was some, it's kind of a conspiracy theory. Don't whack me if any agents are watching this. But I read something that was talking about how 40% of lotto winners, like major lotto winners that have won like over $100 million, have like government agency connections. Like they either formerly worked for the CIA or something like that. Like a crazy statistical anomaly.
Wow.
Dude, Jeff Epstein won $40 million in the lottery in 2008.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How
like
about that?
Lotteries, something's up with that, dude. That's how they move money around, like in a sketcy way when the government needs it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like, just send a CIA agent to 7-Eleven, and boom. And then, like, I think 60% of it is like real lotto winners or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if it's rigged. I wouldn't doubt it.
So, what are some of like the biggest changes? I mean, obviously, you've been through so much. You've been through the civil rights movement that we've talked about. You saw when, all these different drugs became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You were there to see the internet when that became a thing. Cell phones, the whole shebang. What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in your life, like society-wise or world? Like, what's really had the biggest impact that you've witnessed?
I would say a cell phone. When I was student body president at Ganesha, we had a thing called Government Day. And they would take people from the student council of, at that time we just had 3 major high schools in Pomona. And they get about 4 of us from each school, and somebody be the mayor, somebody be the city councilman for this district, so on. So it would be Government Day where we actually, the students, would actually run the government. And I remember going down into the basement, and Pomona had just gotten this new computer.
Mm.
So we go to the basement, and it's an area probably about 8 times the size of this area. It's big, long. And along all the walls, they had those smoke glass with the things, tapes running in the back. Okay?
Interesting.
That whole room was the computer.
Oh my God.
Okay? So that's why you said, what's the biggest change? So I can recall I'm sure I have more.
You have way more processing power right here in your hand right now.
Then in 1970, when I went to the basement of Pomona's City Hall, and they had all these banks of reels and computers doing various things, calculations or whatever. But yes, I would say the cell phone would be the biggest. And at that time, I would have never thought that room, I would have more of it that I could fit in my pocket. So yeah, that would be it. Even when I was at Mission Plastics, one of the things, the owner sold me his, what was that thing, a Delta 88. It was a big old long, about as long as a Cadillac, but it was an Oldsmobile, Delta 88. But inside of it, he had one of the first mobile phones that they had in cars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was a box.
That was probably a crazy
thing to have. It was a box about this big, and it had a phone in it. And it was portable. I could take it in the house and use it if I want to. But it was one of the first. It was Magnavox was the name, was the maker of it. First mobile phones in a car. Yeah, and that was amazing. And even that big box had less capability than this little guy here. So yeah. So I would say technology, computer-wise, has been quite a bit. I think, you know how we have laws for disclaimers on certain things. You know, you really, I don't know if you could sell a pack of cigarettes in the U.S. if you didn't have that Surgeon General caution thing on it.
Yep, you got the picture of some
have
person's foot or something.
Okay,
yep,
so if you manufacture that and you don't have that on it, you'd have some type of a consequence to pay, or maybe prison time, fine or something. I think anything going forward that is AI generated, if it doesn't have this certain little insignia or mark on it, letting the viewer know that that is AI and not the real Dilly Willy.
Yep.
And if you don't, there's a fine or jail time or something.
I agree 100%.
That's the only way we're going to go. We should go with AI. It's got to be, let the buyer beware. Let the person know that what they're looking at is AI. And I think until, I know I'm not the sharpest pencil in the box, but until they figure that out and decide, okay, this is all we need, we're going to move forward by doing this. And then, start having people pay the consequence when they generate something that's AI and it's traceable back to them and they didn't do what they were supposed to do, identify it. They pay enough hefty fine or being locked up.
I mean, I feel like AI maybe just shouldn't be able to make images or videos, potentially. I think I could see it as a useful tool when you want to, get information to do research on a topic.
Right.
But I think it generating images and making videos is kind of messed up when there's artists out there and AI fucking with their livelihood.
It is, but I think unfortunately now the cat's out of the bag. People
it's too late. Yeah,
people are going to do it. So
it's
now
over
you know
with.
people are going to do it. Then here's just one of the other steps you have to take.
Yep, that ship has sailed long ago.
Yeah.
It's too late. I agree with you there.
You have to identify it and let people know what they're looking at, because it can really cause a lot of harm, a lot of damage, and it can be so manipulative.
100%.
Yes. And that's the only way they were going to control that one, is make it a rule. You have to identify it.
I feel like we're pretty close to Terminator being a real thing. We're not very far away from that. And that's kind of scary, isn't it?
That is.
That's scary stuff. I mean, seeing all the progress and how quickly everything's evolved in your lifetime, do you think things are going to continue to be that way, or maybe is technology going to slow down and society going to slow down? Or
I don't see it slowing down. I think almost like the Industrial Revolution,
Mhm.
when they finally realized we can do mass production and all that was such a change that AI is equivalent to that, if not more.
that's like the new age revolution, the
Right.
AI revolution, or whatever.
Right, exactly. It's and they're not sure where it's going to go. The thing that I see happening right now, well, I think Musk was the first one I noticed that he went down to Tennessee and he built this, lack of a better term, I'm going to call it a think box.
Mhm.
And he broke all kinds of regulatory statutes and others to get that thing going. And once again, it's right next to one of the poorest neighborhoods, and they're, having to deal with the side products of him having that big facility down there to do more AI research. I'm thinking we're going to have to go back to nuclear power plants to generate what we're going to need because they're building these.
I think nuclear might be a good thing, though, don't you think?
That's the thing. We might have to go back that route. Yes.
I don't know why we haven't even before.
Well, it was just
AI.
with the waste. The waste was such a.
Yeah.
What do you do with this?
But I mean, I've seen Trump posting about coal plants.
No,
Like-
why would you want to go backwards?
I don't.
Why would you want to go
I think I'd
backwards?
rather have a nuclear plant,
Right.
Yes,
absolutely.
But I mean, nuclear is an extremely efficient form of power. My understanding of it is nuclear plants used to be popular until like Chernobyl happened. And that changed pretty much everything in that
Then we had
industry.
another one over here somewhere in Pittsburgh that happened.
Oh, I'd never heard about that one.
Yeah.
What happened with
Yeah.
that? Did people like die in that incident? Or?
I don't think anyone died, but there was a mass spillage of some sort.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it, but I think it was in Pittsburgh. But yeah, it's the way to go. It's the best way to go. And I think the biggest problem it had was the waste.
Yeah.
What do we do with it? I'd say, load it up and shoot it towards the sun, maybe.
Just we'll worry about that in a few thousand years or something.
See how the sun takes it, if it's okay with that.
Well, I mean, I feel like if we have a giant radioactive sun one day that we've just been flinging barrels at for a few decades, I mean, surely the sunbeams are going to come down and give us all cancer or something, dude.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. If you had to pick, let's say, hypothetically, you could go back to like one decade right now. Would you go back to any decade, or do you think we're in like prime life in 2025?
Let me see, what decade? Because that's some things that I've often asked myself when Trump would say, "Make America great again." That's relative. Great again for who?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure where I would take it back to be great again, because I haven't quite got there yet. But I would say, probably. If I went back to any time, it would be somewhere between 2005 and 2015.
Feels like life was nice then.
Life was nice. I had a lot of great experiences. In 2017, Invenius was the company I was working for in Santa Barbara. They developed this thing called the liquid lens, and it was of that magnitude that Corning Glass wanted to get in on 40% of it. And after they thought about it for a minute, I do mean a minute, they said, no, we'll buy the whole company. What the liquid lens did was, it was 2 pieces of glass that had a liquid. I'm not sure what the liquid was that it was in it, but it would react to electrical charges, and it causes phones or the lens to continuously focus.
Interesting. That sounds
Now,
pretty handy.
this happened right around 2018 or so. Any phone I had prior to that, when I go to my camera, you ever take a picture, I can see it doing that.
It's trying to
movement,
get focus.
Trying to
Yep.
focus. Well, Invenius had this lens that was a continuous focusing lens. And when Corning came on board, we were talking with LG and maybe another phone supplier to make lenses for them. But like I said, Corning jumped in. I think Corning ended up going with Samsung for the contracts. Before I know it, they were requiring something like 10 million lenses a week.
Oh my God.
And
how do you even manufacture that? Like,
that's
kind of
what they
facility do
wanted.
you
I don't
need?
know how they I don't know how they did it because I left the year after that. I retired in 2018. But myself, I'm thinking, what the fuck? Well, what you gonna do with all those lenses? But all I'm thinking about is cell phones.
Mhm.
Well, you stop and think about it. You got the Audi has 12 cameras, and BMWs have more than a certain amount.
Yep.
There's a whole lot of other applications I never thought about. And now you come on with the Ring bell.
Yep.
You know,
I have a ring on my door.
okay,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. I thought about just the phone application, but there were so many other applications for
Yep.
that lens, and apparently Corning Glass has seen that light bulb that came on for them. They said, fuck it, we're going to buy the whole company. So they purchased, even though my working with them was brief, it was one of the best companies I ever worked for.
I mean, that sounds like a brilliant product. I mean,
Oh, yeah. Well, they bought it from a good company, and Venice was,
it's probably a great buy.
for the first 7 years I worked there, our focus was on this thing called a flow cell. And in a flow cell, you could do gene sequencing with this flow cell. And this company called, they're in San Diego. Can't think of their name now, but they were Illumina. Illumina was buying all of these flow cells from us. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I come from an aerospace industry, but the reason Invenius brought me on board was they needed to get ISO 9001. They needed it now. I think I got them through the whole thing in about less than 6 months. And the owner was really cool. He showed his appreciation. I got bonuses and all that kind of stuff. But when Corning Glass shows up, they're on a whole nother level of great companies.
Yep.
At Corning, if I had an incident where I worked with somebody from a different department and they really helped me solve a problem, I could recommend that person for a bonus
Really?
of up to $2,500,
Damn.
and vice versa.
I'm kissing ass if I'm the employee under you, dude. I want my $2,500.
No, but you even working under me anybody in the facility could recommend someone for a bonus, and you just tell the story of what that person did. Then there's a review board that looks at it, and if they see, well, that was a good thing to do. That reflected our values, because this is a company with a list of values, and you have to be in line with the values. But all in all, it was one of the best companies I ever worked for. Corning
Sounds like a
Glass.
sick job.
Yes, Corning. Yeah, because at that one I was what you call a compliance officer. I had some responsibility and interaction with the quality department, but not that much. I was responsible for environmental compliance. We used a lot of chemicals in etching glass and doing other things. So I was responsible for the environmental stuff. But, that was one Well, I had one other job where I did 6 figures, but that was the second job I did 6 figures. And it's a great company to work for.
6 figures.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's good money.
Yes, absolutely.
That's good money. Nowadays in LA, that's like barely getting by in today's economy. It's fucked up.
How about that? Yeah.
But once upon a time, guys, 6 figures was the American dream.
Right.
That's cash money right there.
Yes.
So I'm curious, how'd you end up working with my friend Attila, our mutual connection? How'd you end up?
I met Attila through Jesse's brother.
Yep.
Jesse's brother. I don't know if you had an opportunity. He passed 3-4 years ago.
I don't think I did end up meeting him.
Tony and I, that's his name, Tony.
Yep.
We were real good friends. Matter of fact, I've been working with Tony for a year and a half, and he was inching closer and closer to want to do the certification for AS 9100.
Yeah.
But he would put it off till the next quarter, put it off. And Jess and I have talked, his brother and I have talked about this as well, but we're not sure if Tony was one of their first early COVID victims.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we were not all we know is that all of a sudden he was sick, he was in the hospital, and then he died.
Wow.
And that was, it was, matter of fact, it was that November before the things got to rolling. I
Like
guess
November
in
of
January
19?
It would have been November of
Yep.
19. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean,
that's how I met.
Sounds like he could have been.
Yeah. That's how I met Attila, because they were just starting to, they were on the corner of, of whatever the name of that street is. And I'd go over there and work with Rex and what I want to say, I'm trying to pronounce his name. Is it not Felix? What was Attila's first partner's name? Latif. No, not Latif.
I don't
You
know.
don't know what I'm talking about? Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Okay.
I was only over there making the grinders for like 4 months.
Oh, okay. So anyway, but that was when they were in the very first facility that they started making grinders. That's where I met him, and we started doing some things. Matter of fact, I worked more with Rex than I did with Attila, because Attila's programming, that kind of stuff, and as far as putting parts together, he was trying to stay away from that. So
Yeah. I mean, for those of you guys watching at home, if you've ever bought one of the grinders that we've dropped, you know that Orson played a part in making that. Orson technically has had a hand in the grinder you used to smoke your weed. So
yes,
you owe it to Orson. You owe him a thank you as well. Now, I have some questions from the fans.
Okay.
I actually posted and I asked them to cook up some questions for you.
Okay.
And I just pulled some of my favorite ones and some of the most liked ones from the replies. People wanted me to ask you these. First and foremost, from Ain't Nobody Cool, he wants to know, how much anxiety do you feel when you wake up every day? Are you a calm guy, or do you feel anxiety?
No anxiety. Matter of fact, I wake up every day, take the first breath. I guess to me, that's going to be a good day.
I like that mentality.
I've got a lot more past than I got future, and I'm not, rushing to pass on. But I've had a good life, and whenever the time has come, it's come.
I mean, I think aging's a privilege.
Yes. Yep.
You got more days to come.
Yeah.
You've had a lot already. That's fortunate. Ooh. Next up from DeWeed.
Ooh.
He says, DeWeed. I like that name.
Okay.
How do you recover from a night out partying?
Well, probably a day of resting.
I like that.
Sometimes it's hard to get that rest, but the next night's going to be a very early night for me. I'm going to go to bed, soon as 7 o'clock hits, 8 o'clock hits.
Damn, you might even beat the sun down.
Yes. During the summer, I do sometimes.
Honestly, I've been getting there too, dude. The other night, I went to bed at 8:30 p.m. and I woke up at like 4 the next day.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like it very much. Okay. 8:30 is too early for me. Next up is Joey, and he wants to know, is it possible to catch the dragon later in life?
Catch the dragon.
What he means is like, when like you do a drug for the first time and get really high, feels like you're chasing that high forever.
Oh.
You ever caught the dragon later on, or is it always a pursuit?
Nope, never catch it the second time around, though.
The dragon's always faster than you.
I do know that, and I would say it wasn't because I wanted to continue to fulfill it, but I'm in a cannabis store, and this is about maybe 3 years ago, though. So it put me at 70. 3 years ago, and the guy said, would you like a dab hit before you go?
Ooh.
And I had never had a dab hit before, and I agreed to one. And let me tell you, after I finished with the dab, I must have stood there coughing for like 5 minutes while everybody behind the counter's laughing. But it was cool. That was the highest I've been in a long time.
So you caught the dragon that day?
That must have been, yes, I caught the dragon that day. Yeah.
Just take a dab.
But I wasn't trying to pursue it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was quite an experience.
He pursued you that day.
Yes, there you go.
They put him at the dispensary behind the counter. Next question from Beloved. And Beloved wants to know, when you look back on your life, are you fulfilled?
Yes and no. I guess even like, I don't know, some billionaires and millionaires, we're going to have a trillionaire here pretty soon.
100%. We're a few years away from that, single digits.
Yeah, I say yes, and then I say no. Everybody always wants a little more.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's greed or what, but I believe every millionaire, billionaire wants a little more.
Of course.
So, and I'm going to have to say the same. I don't regret much, but I do think for the most part I've had a good life. I have a couple of great sons and some great grandchildren. So, I mean, not like great, some grandchildren.
Just grandchildren that are great.
That are great. So, yes, I'm fulfilled.
I like that answer. The next one from Tori. Tori wants to know, do you still get bitches?
Do bitches still get me? I guess if I'm in that mode, oh, yes. If I'm in that mode.
What gets you in that mode?
Probably when I get that billionaire lotto.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it doesn't take quite that much. But no, there's a number of things that'll get me into that mode. But then it's just a matter of finding the right one. And it's almost like anything else where you start get diminishing returns.
Yep.
After so many, you're starving, you eat one hamburger, they put another one in your face, you eat another hamburger, that third one's getting harder to go down. The fourth one, it took you longer to eat it. And the fifth one, I just don't want anymore. So, yes, for me at the age of 73, it's a special occasion. But, yes, I have some bitches that I can go out there. Absolutely.
Let's go, Orson. I love to hear that. The last question here from Jay. He wants to know, what's your favorite cigarette to smoke while intoxicated?
Ooh, so while intoxicated, you meaning alcohol, I guess?
Yeah, let's say you're drunk. What cigarette are you pulling out?
I'm pulling out a Marlboro.
That's probably where I'd be at, too.
Yeah.
Marlboro is what I smoked before I quit smoking cigs.
I think somewhere in the 70s briefly, it was the 80s briefly, I smoked menthol cigarettes.
Oh, those are brutal.
And after a while, something about them I didn't like. And nowadays, somebody give me one, call it, oh, man, you're smoking this toothpaste. That's okay. Menthol it's weird.
Yeah, I think like a Camel Crush, and it makes me gag.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do menthol.
No.
That's disgusting.
And then on top of that, to crush it, get more menthol.
I like the Marb answer though. That's a good pick. That's like
Okay.
a real like good American cigarette.
Huh?
You know, that's a solid cigarette. Well, I mean, I gotta say, dude, we got through the fan questions, and I feel like we've kind of hit all the bases today, Orson. But
all right.
you know, before I say goodbye to the fans and say everything, I just want to say this has been a very, very interesting conversation for me.
Okay.
I learned a lot today. I learned
right.
a lot both about you and just about life.
Okay.
You know?
All righty.
Is there anything, maybe one piece of wisdom you want to pass along to our younger viewers out there?
The only wisdom I would advise is live life every day to its fullest. Don't let anything get in your way, like too much drugs. But be yourself. Enjoy life. You only get this one.
I love that answer. I love that answer. Well, Orson, thank you for coming on the show today.
All right,
It was a
thank you for
pleasure
having me.
you.
All
This
right.
has been
Thank you.
an absolute joy of a conversation. And all y'all tuning in at home, thank you for being here and tuning into the show.
Thank you.
Make sure you drop a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 300,000 subscribers, which is a hell of a lot of people. And also, you might do another Cubist Grinder drop soon. So make sure you tune into those because me and Orson will have some work to do, I think.
That's it.
Thank you all for supporting the show. See you all in the next one. Deuces.